Hello everybody and welcome to part 4 of Let's Play VVVVVV. On the last episode we rescued our good buddy Vermilion, who is actually, unlike unlike Victoria, not a stick in the mud, and actually was a little bit positive about the situation we've got going on here. Positive that, we'll all get back to our pixelated families. I read online when I was reading about this game a little bit earlier that it's heavily influenced graphically by the Commodore 64, and I can definitely appreciate that, although everything looks a little bit smoother, and in particular the music is a cut above what you would find on pretty much any Commodore 64 game, to say the least. For a genre that's so deeply set in retro or classic themes, chiptune has really come a long way since the 80s. It's come a long way since the 90s. I think it's mostly due to the internet. Anyway, we're just working our way across the dimension here and happen to find a tunnel to the inner workings, and it looks like it's kind of steering us towards the next level, so we will continue to follow this, and I will try not to fall into those spikes whenever possible. But as these levels get harder and harder, I would not be surprised to see me die more and more often, let's put it that way. So we've hit a terminal, which is going to unlock another level for us, and that will be the level with one of our final 2 crew members in it. I guess our last crew member, because we've just entered the part of the ship with our second to last crew member in it here. And the gameplay mechanic here is not the race style that you saw in the tower, nor is it the bouncing on those super strings that we had last time, but is this time mostly platforms that either boost you or slow you down. And also running puzzles that I seem to have considerable troubles with. I could try to do it on the flip side, but don't think that's necessarily the method I should be using. Let's just book it across. Alright. This level is one of the toughest of the first 4, where you have to rescue your crew members. At least in my opinion, anyway. Alright, that trinket is just not happening right now. Let's head down here. Try to avoid the truth. I can't handle the truth. Okay, that wasn't so bad. In this part, the puzzle looks a lot harder than it is, but there are some that, either look exactly as hard as they are, or are not as hard as they look, and honestly, some of the most simple-looking puzzles can end up taking you the longest amount of time in this game. And that's the beauty of it, is that there's that kind of deceptive difficulty that you don't expect. Like on this one, it looks relatively simple, but you have to remember that you're pushing forward so fast that when you actually step onto those platforms that are not pulling you backwards, you have a lot of, let's put it this way, you have to adjust very quickly. It feels like you have to adjust instantly. It's like the exact opposite of when you're driving on the highway and then you get onto a country road and you think you're going super fast when you're actually going really slow. This particular screen, for whatever reason, is just the bane of my existence, and I will probably mess up. I'll get a little bit further each time, and then mess up on the last obstacle and not get the checkpoint and have to come all the way back. Or maybe I'll just hit those spikes every single time. Is that alright with you guys? It's cool with me. Alright, we got a little bit further on that one. I like how the title of this level is You Just Keep Coming Back. It's like the game really knows how to push my buttons. Yeah, exactly, get one step further each time. I also like how the last screen was called, like smooth sailing from here on in. Like, yeah, right. And that is the worst error I think I've ever made in this game so far. I was so close to the checkpoint. Just being careless missed it, but by all counts and purposes, this should be the... Yeah, so we finally got the checkpoint. Alright, now these moving platform puzzles are not necessarily my forte, but that one wasn't too bad. Move it here and try to avoid those pixelated messes, I guess, down at the bottom. And then we will do our best to not get hit by any of these lies. Can't help but feel that this game is allegorical, or that some of these enemies are heavy-handed metaphors. I made it through. This part is actually really fun. The level design, as we move towards the end of this level, is really inventive and really neat. And it does the kind of Metroid thing where you double back on positions or areas from the game that you encountered earlier, so we can see like the ship where we first started, or the area where we first started, in a new light. Or from a new side, anyway. I really like when games do that. As a kid, I hated it because they were so non-linear and thus difficult to me, but, as I grow older, as I get more patience, I really enjoy that kind of non-linear style. Plus, it just adds like a certain cinematic quality when you come back to levels that you've already been to. So yeah, you can see we're coming up to the ship where we were at the start of the game. Oh, we got Vermilion here, our old buddy. Let's go talk to him face to face. So he thinks that someone from the ship must be nearby, and of course he is correct. We'll just go get this terminal, and you know, create a little bit more intrigue and drama into the story, which I am not really following, but that's okay. Now, it's worth noting that on this screen coming up in a little bit, there is... Well, I guess not a little bit, it's a little bit further away than I'm letting on, but once I get there I'll let you know. There is the most hellish trinket in the game if you have the... I don't know whether to say the skill, the balls, the courage to take it on. I will show you where it is. But be forewarned, this is not for lesser men. This is the kid level of difficulty, the kid warp zone levels of difficulty from Meat Boy, in order to get this trinket. And I don't even know what the trinkets do yet, so this game can basically suck it if it thinks I'm going to donate 40 minutes when I'm still relatively new at the game. This is what I mean by saying they do a lot in the game with relatively little. Like, this room looks incredibly simple, but it becomes a multi-step challenge just because of the great level design. And this part in particular is devilish. It's probably not as hard as I make it out to be. All you have to do is land on that platform and then quickly get off. But for some reason I always feel like I need to get the platform to nudge me over there. So we're getting closer to the to that trinket now, and also getting closer to areas of the game that I am not so good at. This, I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but this screen is also the bane of my existence. My existence has very many banes today. For whatever reason, I just always have a hard time getting through this screen. I was talking to a buddy of mine who said he's gotten through the whole game of, V to the 6 with only 2 deaths, and I'm pretty sure I have like almost 100 deaths on this screen alone. The first time I played through the game, I had more than 500 deaths in total, so I am not near that point yet. But apparently there's an achievement for beating it with 0 deaths, so yeah. This is where that trinket is. If you don't take the way I'm taking, and instead choose to go down, like I almost did there, but then caught myself, you can try for a trinket, and maybe in a bonus video I will show off my feeble attempts to get that. So now, yeah, we are on the ship that we... or I guess under the ship where we started on. So these levels were inaccessible to us the first time. You have to come in through this new kind of like bottom entrance. We came in through the maintenance ducts or something. And now we can see a whole new side of things. And this level, because I just committed suicide. Like, I didn't want to give that boss or that enemy the dignity of killing me. Enemy looks a lot like Ogmo from the Jumper series. But anyway, yeah, so we're seeing things from a different perspective. Like that screen up top, we went through that when we came in, and now we're going through the opposite way. Another trinket that I have absolutely no idea how to get, so we will save that for later, when I get more experience with this V6 game we've got going on here. And this is one of those puzzles that actually looks a lot, or is a lot easier than it looks. All you gotta do is alternate being on the top and bottom of these platforms, which is actually, within the context of this game, not really that hard. They throw a lot more difficult stuff at you, and already have thrown a lot more difficult stuff at us. So I know that the key to this puzzle somehow involves this right here, but I don't know how to utilize that to actually get to the trinket. So we will just instead rescue our good buddy, Professor Vitellary, I believe. This is another guy I like, He's bright, he's on the ball. It seems like he's got valuable skills that can help us. I don't know why the ship's science officer sounded so stupid, but anyway. I guess there's always one in every group. And once you finish this level, you think you're going back to the ship, but there is actually another bonus level. I don't necessarily call it a bonus level, but an unexpected level, let's put it that way. And this one is really cool, but also insanely difficult, at least for my video gaming skills, or my limited V6 skills. So we've got Vitellary just hanging out in limbo here. We're gonna go find him and then participate in probably the closest thing this game has to a mini-game inside of it. We're gonna get on the Gravitron and we have to survive for 60 seconds as enemies fly at us from either side of the screen. This is really fun, but like I said, very, very difficult, and the game designers realize this because as long as you survive for more than 5 seconds, it'll save your progress. So, surviving for 60 seconds, I'm not going to say it's impossible, because I'm sure there are some people out there that have actually done it, but surviving for 60 seconds consecutively is beyond my comprehension at this point. Let's just put it that way. Surviving for 5 seconds consecutively is almost beyond my comprehension, as you can see here. Frankly, I have to be careful that this surviving for 1 minute doesn't take me 25 minutes to actually do. Oh, so close to breaking 45 seconds that time. Usually I'll find that I'll suck really, really bad for a while, and then I'll get into sort of a groove and, you know, be able to hit a couple of checkpoints at once. I was able to get one there. Let's see if we can continue. Oh, I was like less than half a second away. For some reason, just certain patterns in this are much, much harder to dodge than others. I have this great image in my head of like the game designers putting this into playtesting and not having this 5-second checkpoint thing in it, and the playtesters just being like, you guys gotta be fucking kidding me, that's insane. This is gonna take people hours and hours to complete. And the game designer was like, fine, we'll make it, if you can survive for 5 seconds, then that'll take 5 seconds off your time. And then it was still quite difficult, but not vastly more challenging than the rest of the game up to this point anyway. Although again, I should be eating my words, because I'm having a real tough time just surviving here. Oh, nah, now I've gotten into a groove. I can jinx myself completely. So, we're halfway there. Halfway through surviving for a minute, and it's only taken us, you know, roughly 3 minutes so far. Let's see if we can't expedite this process a little bit. That was a decent run there. Really, if I can survive for 5 seconds, I'm happy. If I can survive for 10, it's like Christmas morning all over again. See, this is a really good run by my standards, even though I kind of died in a foolish manner. Yeah, I much prefer these patterns to the ones that were coming earlier. Apparently, once you get a certain amount of trinkets, you actually unlock the Super Gravitron that you can play in the challenge mode of this game, which is pretty cool. Although, apparently, it's also even harder than this, so I have some practice to do before that's even a remote possibility for me. Oh, I'm so close. Come on, come on. Oh, it's less than half a second away. Alright, we should be okay, though. I really like this pattern. I can navigate this one. And we finished it, amazingly. Yeah, I'm a little bit dizzy myself. So we'll get in this teleporter, which will actually send us back to the destination we want for once. And we have brought Vitellary back to the ship. Let's have a little conversation with him, see what he thinks is going on. Yeah, whatever you say, Professor. Talk to Violet, advance the story a little bit. See, Vermilion, always a go-getter, that's why he's my favorite. See you next time.